They didn't tweak the car, they rewrote its philosophy. This is not just an upgrade, it's a quiet mutiny inside Maranello. For the first time this season, Ferrari isn't masking flaws behind data analysis or tyre windows. No, they're bringing a brand new flaw to the Austrian GP, and that's their coded message. The SF25 was conceptually broken from race 1. Engineers Diego Tondi and Leclerc Serra weren't tweaking, they were rebuilding. The old flaw didn't just cost tenths, it exposed a design that collapsed under real-world grip conditions. This flaw is Ferrari's white flag and their battle cry, but don't expect the official broadcast to say it. They'll call it a small refinement. What they won't say, it's a desperate move before the SF25 implodes under 2026 regulation pressure. Lewis Hamilton's silence was telling, but silence broke in Montreal. After narrowly avoiding disaster with a groundhog and damaging the floor with a brutal lockup, his frustration spilled. Behind the calm, he was fuming, not at the incident, but at the car's fundamental instability. For 11 races, he'd whispered concerns about the SF25's flaw. Now, the whispers turned into warnings. The flaw wasn't just stiff, it was sabotaging tire grip, low-speed grip loss, poor heat cycles, and a ride height compromise that forced engineers to lift the car just to keep it drivable. But that killed the downforce window and widened the delta to Red Bull and McLaren. Hamilton was adapting, but adapting isn't winning. The Red Bull ring will reveal the truth. Is the new flaw a redemption arc, or the confirmation that Ferrari built a failure from the ground up? Officially, it's a flaw update. But let's dissect what that really means, and why it matters. Ferrari's engineers focused on two critical zones: aeromechanical balance. The previous flaw created unstable grip transitions. In Spielberg's medium-speed corners, that meant unpredictable liftoff oversteer. The new flaw aims to stabilize the platform, smoothing airflow under the chassis and limiting that infamous bouncing on corner exit. Translation: less panic at the wheel. Edge reinforcement: the outer floor edges, where turbulent air makes or breaks rear stability, have been reshaped. This isn't cosmetic, it's Ferrari's way of resealing the car at speed, regaining consistency in yaw and pitch. That's code for, we were bleeding lap time every time Hamilton turned the wheel. Insiders claim it's a reboot, not a refinement. While marketed as preparation for Silverstone, sources close to the factory admit, this flaw carries the weight of a championship rescue mission. And Hamilton? He's said to have requested these changes directly after Imola. Red Bull Ring isn't just another race, it's a lie detector for technical upgrades. At altitude, with low-speed traction zones and high lateral loads, the circuit strips away any illusions. And this weekend, Ferrari's upgrades will face that raw reality. Mercedes arrives confident after a win. Red Bull, even wounded, still dominates Sector 2. But Ferrari, they're gambling everything on a flaw that hasn't touched real-world conditions yet. And their first test subject? Not Leclerc, not Hamilton, it's Dino Beganovic. Leclerc gave up FP1 so the rookie could take the wheel. On paper, a standard rookie opportunity. In truth, it's a subtle SOS. A team shielding its stars from early disappointment or hiding a possible setup crisis from the world. Because if the flaw doesn't work in Austria, it won't survive Silverstone. And Silverstone is where the 2026 car concepts begin. Ferrari isn't upgrading, they're auditioning for survival. Publicly, Fred Vasseur talks of data convergence and refined performance windows. Behind closed doors, it's another story. Tension in Maranello has reached a boiling point. After a disastrous start and no wins in 11 races, the once unshakable Ferrari hierarchy is shaking. Insiders report engineers arguing over core philosophies, aero first versus mechanical grip. Whispers of conceptual betrayal and silent blame are spreading through departments. One senior figure reportedly said, "It's not the drivers, it's the architecture. We're fighting ghosts." Even Leclerc Serra, brought in to stabilize the technical direction, is said to be working in isolation. His ideas clashing with Ferrari's legacy dogma. It's Red Bull style innovation versus Ferrari tradition. And the old guard isn't surrendering quietly. Vasseur's biggest enemy, not McLaren, not Red Bull, it's his own inertia-plagued structure. This floor update isn't just about performance, it's a loyalty test. If it fails, expect internal heads to roll. And Hamilton? He didn't sign up for another Mercedes 2022. Charles Leclerc handing over FP1 wasn't just generosity, it was fatigue. A silent nod that even he, Ferrari's golden child, is running out of faith. Every car tells a story. For Hamilton, the SF25 has been a broken promise. For Leclerc, it's a ghost of a championship car that never arrived. And now both drivers are trapped in emotional no man's land, waiting for a flaw that might save them or expose them. Hamilton's radio has gone eerily quiet. No angry outbursts, no setup demands. That's not calm, that's calculation. He knows Silverstone is the real battlefield. But if Spielberg disappoints, it's over. The cracks will become rifts. This isn't about top speed or cornering, it's about belief. Ferrari's floor upgrade will either reignite a dream or confirm a betrayal, and the paddock is watching closely. This isn't just a technical update, it's a soul check. If Ferrari's floor works in Austria, it won't just shave tenths, it will restore belief. But if it fails, the fallout will be brutal, not just in lap time, but in morale, in credibility, in trust. Leclerc might smile for the cameras, but the tension is written in his body language. Hamilton, he's playing the long game, but make no mistake, his legacy demands more than symbolic podiums. This Austrian GP is the tipping point. The upgrade must deliver, or the 2025 season will be remembered not for recovery, but for the moment Ferrari lost its final grip on championship relevance. Because, let's be clear, this isn't development, it's a last attempt to keep the SF25 from becoming a cautionary tale in the Museum of Broken Dreams. They called it a floor refinement, but behind that language, panic, pressure, and a countdown to implosion. Will this weekend be Ferrari's redemption, or confirmation that even legends can rot from within? If you believe the truth behind the red curtain must be exposed, subscribe, because the official story won't tell you what's cracking, but we will. They called it a minor floor revision, but when Leclerc steps into the cockpit this Saturday, he'll know this isn't a revision, it's a referendum on Ferrari's competence, on its willingness to change, on whether this team still deserves to carry the weight of legends. For Hamilton, every tenth matters, not just on the stopwatch, but on his legacy. He didn't come to Ferrari to fight for fourth, he came to rewrite the end of his story. And this floor, it's the hinge on which that story could turn. The team says it's preparatory, but that word masks fear, because behind the data, behind the CFD simulations and wind tunnel corrections, lies a truth no engineer wants to admit. The SF25 is dangerously close to being unsalvageable. If Austria confirms that, the fallout will be silent, brutal, and irreversible, because Ferrari isn't just risking another lost season, they're risking something greater. The final collapse of belief from the two men they promised everything to. And once belief dies in Formula One, nothing else matters. And the paddock knows it. Every rival, every commentator, every silent engineer behind closed doors, they're all watching Spielberg not for lap times, but for signals. Because if this new floor collapses under pressure, it won't just be rubber and carbon splintering. It will be trust between driver and team, between vision and execution, between myth and reality. This isn't a setup change, it's a reckoning. So when the lights go out in Austria, don't just watch the race, watch the body language, watch the silence on the radios, watch who smiles and who doesn't. Because under the red, something is about to break or be reborn.